Hi, welcome to the Cup Night channel. My name is Shane, and I've got a message for you today. And we have an animal guide for this message today, and I feel compelled to open with the description from the Arc Animal Tarot by Bernadette King, and that is the snow leopard. This is representative of the hermit in this particular deck of cards. But yeah, a very introspective, solo, diving deep energy. It also says ascension, illumination, introspection on this particular card. So, yeah, I'm going to read the meaning here to open up this message, and then we'll go further. I do have some notes from my meditation as well to go along with this message, so I'll go there next. It's a very hermit-like energy meditating, right? All right, so from out of a swirling blizzard, two piercing pale green eyes appear. In that still moment, the entire earth catches an expectant breath until the snow leopard emerges. This resplendent creature prefers physical privacy. Each path is its path. Each choice, likewise, is snow leopard's choice. Snow leopards are the perfect emblem for self-reliance and self-trust. The lamas of Nepal take the form of a snow leopard when gathering sacred herbs from the mountains. They, like this magnificent great cat, walk between the worlds of earth and spirit, embracing faith over fear. Snow leopard never loses its way and is never alone, remaining confident and connected to the divine through meditative silence. Yep, there's that meditation. Snow leopard medicine signals a period of silent retreat away from exposure to a place in space where our inner counsel becomes clear. As you travel with snow leopard, your sensitivity toward the sacred improves. It builds a greater reverence and respect for life's paths. There are mysteries, they keep things interesting, and elusive secrets, but snow leopard is quite the detective. Throughout Asia, people speak of snow leopard with deep spiritual reverence. Folklore tells us that some come down from the mountains and stand at field boundaries protecting the crops. In parts of Pakistan, snow leopard is a fairy-like creature worthy of worship. While we think of this cat as being white, the color of purity and illumination, they also have brown or black fur, the brown symbolizing the earth element and the black all things mystical. The presence of snow leopard energy may expose emotions of which even you were not aware. These cannot hide beneath the icy shadows any longer. After a re-evaluation, snow leopard supplies renewed balance and engenders a bright burst of winter light glistening in your soul. Yeah, interesting that it mentioned the shadow there because, on the bottom of the archetypes we have the shadow. And Thanatos underneath that, which is death, the energy of endings, things being reorganized, a cycle closing out, something that can no longer be sustained. Yeah. Structures are changing. And you may have, I'm glad this is all lining up very nicely. So in my meditation, the first thing I saw were these energetic ripples, as if a really big event is just like dropped into the water, and then the effects are now cascading out from the center and rearranging the structure of everything around. There was a very deep feeling of loss, and I actually had a vision to go along with this feeling. I saw somebody, it was like a company had just hired someone, and they were very excited to have them join the team because they were very qualified and they got along well with the people who interviewed them, and they're gelling with their teammates, And then it's like the next day, when after their first day, they died, and then this team is just left with this like strange feeling of like losing something really important, but also never really being able to get to know who this person was or what they, much about them, really. It was like a brand new connection that was very exciting and thrilling, and then it just dies. I also had this many different ways of seeing it, but reality closing in, like walls closing in, hard limits setting in. You may have been in a period of I recorded a message yesterday, but the audio had issues, so I couldn't post it. because you wouldn't have been able to hear what I was saying. But I was talking about being in a gap, like you're in a void, right? In the shadow, like it's almost like you're hidden, but it feels like you're just like floating in between in nothing. Like maybe you have been trying to make connections or apply to jobs or reach out to people, try to volunteer, stuff like that, and just nothing's happening. And you just feel like you're in this big vacuum, which you could also see as a shadow. Sorry, excuse me a moment. Yeah, hold on. Cheers. Yeah, the hard limits of reality from the space where you may have had a situation where you could kind of just coast for a while. There wasn't really a lot going on, but you were able to like go deep within yourself and really learn about yourself and how you can rely on yourself in a lot of ways. Very right. It's a hermit energy, going deep within and realizing that you are, you embody the snow leopard power, right? And even underneath in this deck is underneath the snow leopard is the lion strength. Yeah, you found your inner strength, your inner passion and reliability. Um, but this period where maybe you were kind of like set up in a really nice place where you could experiment and be creative and learn more about yourself and try different things. Well, this period of time is now coming to an end. The reality boundaries are setting in, and this could be things like, you have to get a job. Maybe you've been unemployed for a while, and now you have to get a job because you need income to keep going, right? You don't want to make yourself a burden on other people around you. Or the place you're staying at is not viable for much longer, so you have to find another place to go. And that's going to require you to have money to pay for, and your expenses increase. And yeah, could be any number of things, but just some examples there. And then finally, what I saw was somebody who was studying case law. Um, like they were reviewing uh, precedent and past cases. So there's some element of like legality here at play as well, or this energy of justice, right? Things, trying to find past examples of something in order to assert a position for something ongoing now, right? The history of something. And that came through in a reading I did. The reading I did yesterday, yeah, I couldn't post it, but I had a vision of a history teacher passionately giving a lesson to a class. He was like a middle school, high school teacher. And yeah, he wasn't just teaching history out of the book. He was teaching like this is how history is made. They say history is written by the winners, but what about the other side of the story? Teaching them how to think critically about history and not just take everything as fact, but to question and ask, well, who wrote this version of the story and what side were they on and who were they against and who are all the players involved, that kind of thing. So once again, it's a very hermit-like energy, going deep into the details, very Virgo too. I would even say Gemini too, because you're learning new things, right? You're being curious and exploring, but you're getting deep into the details. That's where Virgo comes in. So that is what we're dealing with here. And interesting that this like legality stuff is coming up today because it is Friday, which is the day of Venus, and that is the planet I'll be connecting to for this reading. And Venus is currently kind of entering a gap herself between Sagittarius and Capricorn. This is stellarium-web.org. You can go here to see where the planets are actually at in the sky at this time. This is what they call true sky or real sky astrology. It's different from Western tropical or sidereal astrology. There's nothing wrong with those systems. They survived all this time for a reason. It's just different. It's a different lens, and I like this one particularly because it marries science with spirituality, which I like. So anyway, yeah, Venus is in this gap. Like I was saying, it's like being in between. And actually, she's just beginning to enter the space between Capricorn and Sagittarius. It's like the the boundaries are blurring. And it's interesting that I had that vision of like the walls closing in and reality setting in, right? Because Capricorn is all about like hard, harsh reality, right? Like trials and tribulations and striving and devotion. It's Saturn, right? Barriers. Yeah. So that explains a lot of that. So let's look at the true sky chart really quick here. You see Venus, the little ticker, is still in Sagittarius, right near the border at 31 degrees. Constellations are different sizes in the sky, so that's why they show up as different sizes on this particular wheel. This tries to use the approximate size of the constellations as they actually are in the sky. And we're dealing with the 8th house, which is shared resources, sex, death, secrets, intimacy, things like that. So yeah, this is a very intimate space that we are in. We're going also from the boundary of the 8th to the 9th house as well. So yeah, we're like right up on this void space, this in-between space. It's a very mystical space where potentiality exists, where anything could happen, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's around the corner. If you've been applying for jobs, you don't know who's going to reply to you. You don't know if you're going to even get a reply at all. You don't know if something's going to come out of the blue, another opportunity that you didn't expect. It's this place of like anything could happen, and it's kind of nerve-wracking because you're just having to live on just like, well, something's got to happen, right? Otherwise, we're things might kind of spiral downward a little bit there, but it's this place of needing to have faith. All right. I'm going to put this up here. I do have the Wheel of Fortune on the bottom of the pre-shuffled tarot deck. This is the Lunar Tarot for anyone interested. The creator is Jane Wallace. This is the box. Love this deck. But yeah, big changes. And this particular version of the Wheel of Fortune says luck on it. When the wheel turns, it's not always in our favor, right? It's just a big change of circumstance. But I do feel that some elements having faith is also believing in luck, right? Or believing that lucky things can happen to you or for you. And yeah, the star underneath that. Hope. So yeah, luck and hope, or faith and hope, I'd rather say, in this case. Faith that when the wheel changes, that it changes for the better, that you are entering a better cycle, right? A more aligned, authentic cycle. Aquarian energy here. That you have things inside of you to give back. See how she's pouring the water out onto the earth there, into the pond? She's giving back because she knows who she is. And so she is this channel of energy. She knows how to channel the energy that was given to her to give back. So I have a feeling that this, whenever you do make it through this void space, this gap of shadows, that you're going to enter a period where you're able to give back more than you ever have been able to before. All right, let's get some tarot here to go a little bit deeper. Oh, I did intentionally apply the vertex onto this chart because I just felt compelled to. Vertex has to do with fate or fated encounters. I believe that fate is a choice still, even though it implies that it's not, right? But it's like we can change our fate by the choices we make. So you might be on one path where there are fated events along it, but you can choose to take a different path with different fated events along that path, right? It's almost like playing a game and it having multiple different storylines, and depending on which one you decide to follow, that's the storyline you're going to get, right? It's the same kind of thing. That's how I think about fate. So I had the Ten of Wands come out. Responsibility, yeah. This is that energy, that heavy boundary energy, right? This like weight of energetic responsibility that, okay, it's coming time that I have to step up and take responsibility for things again. Like I'm no longer just in this void space where I could kind of just float for a while. That's coming to a close. Now I have to step up. And when you're stepping up in a very confident energy, an abundant energy, knowing that you have value and that you have valuable things to share with others, like we were saying. Yeah. Four of Wands, Nine of Pentacles. Celebratory things. Things to, well, I'll leave the Ten of Wands out there. Let's see what else wants to come out here. Oh, King of Pentacles. And the Three of Swords. This kind of flew out a bit sideways, so I'll put it underneath. There is an element of grief. Like I said in my meditation, I was picking up on loss. It's almost like you started all these things that had a lot of promise and you were putting a lot of effort into it, into getting to a certain place. And now it's like you're having to put that on pause to take responsibility, to pick up responsibility and to get yourself to a place. Yeah, you have to persevere. Nine of Wands on the bottom. And the 10 and the 9, these are both like a very tiresome energy, right? It's like an energetic load that you're just like, oh, I remember this now. Like you may have had this period of time where you could kind of just let that go, not have to worry about it too much. And now it's like, okay, it's coming back around. I'm having to take responsibility for the things I am responsible for, right? King of Pentacles. Yes, he has resources, but he has to manage them and be responsible with them. So King of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, Three of Swords. This is, and Nine of Wands, right? This is that, I said Ten of Swords, I meant Ten of Wands. But yeah, Ten of Swords, massive change, right? In the mental landscape. Yeah, this is the recognition that there is an element of grief of having to kind of change things, your patterns, your behaviors, because you're having to step into different cycles in order to be able to support yourself or the people in your life that rely on you in some way, right? That could be, if you don't have kids, it could be pets. If you don't have a partner, then, or if you're just solo, like we did have the Hermit come out, so I'm sure some of us out there are. If you have no dependents, then this is just like you taking responsibility completely for yourself, like not becoming a burden to others around you. Yeah, and it's going to take work. Eight of Pentacles underneath the Nine of Wands. This is the card of work, devotion, putting in the effort. And it's not to say that you haven't been doing that in other areas. It's just that maybe those areas didn't quite take off or pan out like you hoped they would. So now it seems like there is this, it's just harsh reality setting in, right? We're on the verge of Capricorn, right? Of Venus entering Capricorn. And Venus is the planet of desire. It's a passionate planet, right? Love, desire, beauty, harmony, even Libra, right? Libra and Taurus. And it seems like Taurus could be very significant here because we have the King of Pentacles. You might have a significant Taurus place meant in your chart. Whether you use Western astrology or sidereal or True Sky to interpret what that means for you, it doesn't matter. If you have significant Taurus placements in Western tropical astrology, then cool. It resonates with you because you resonate with it, right? Same thing, if you prefer this method and you have significant Taurus placements, then it resonates because you resonate with it. Anyway. Yeah. Even just doing this reading, I feel like a disappointment. And it's not like an overwhelming grief because it came out sideways. So it's like somewhere in between. It's like you knew this day was coming. You just hoped that maybe things would work out differently before it finally showed up. And it's just kind of this like, it's this harsh reality setting in. What it is. I'm going to get us a random figure here. Go a little bit deeper. Yeah, baby. That's so funny. In my dream, oh, okay, that was weird. I didn't know if you clicked on it that it would do that. Yeah, okay, it just refreshes. So we have 3 images coming through here: a baby, a crow, and now a wolf. So the baby, I had a dream. In my dream last night, I had a situation where there was a woman giving birth to a baby, and it was a surprise. She didn't even know she was pregnant. It just like happened, and she did it so effortlessly. It's like she just like squatted down, delivered the baby, cleaned it all up herself, and just acted like nothing happened. And then all of a sudden, she had a new baby. So there's definitely this energy of potentially something new and surprising coming in, unexpected, right? a very unexpected surprise that is brand new. And that's what I was saying, like, maybe you're feeling this weight of responsibility, of burden, but you could be surprised by something that you weren't expecting that can kind of wheel of fortune the events, right? It can change it in maybe a lucky direction for you. And then the crow or the raven that came through is a very mystical, magical kind of energy, right? And underneath, the shadow, Thanatos, and the sustainer, we have the mystic. So there is this magical, anything is possible. Like I was saying, in the gap, it's like the realm of possibilities, being at a crossroads, right? You could resonate with Hecate, the dark goddess, the Greek goddess of magic and witchcraft. A very mystical, magical figure, deity, right? And then, of course, a wolf howling. And typically, when wolves are howling, we're thinking, they're howling at a full moon. They're just howling at the moon in general. But also, they howl to signal to other wolves that they are in the area, that, hey, I'm over here. Come join me, or let's meet up, or whatever. So, yeah, I love that. It's kind of this. Wolves are very hermit-like animals too, right? The lone wolf, right? But also they're pack animals. Like they're solo, but not. They can go off on their own and be fine, but also they can connect intimately with groups. So I'm getting that you have tried to, maybe on many different ways, put yourself out there, like howl, let your voice be heard, and see if anybody would hear you and come to your aid or come to your side. And maybe you haven't really had a lot of luck with that. But it seems like that could be changing. Let's get some archetypes here, see what wants to come out. We have the nectar. Yeah, this is there's a hand reaching out on this card towards the nectar of this flower, and they're reaching out from the void space. Look, it's in the dark. They're reaching out from the dark, heading towards the light, trying to touch something sweet and valuable. And the nectar, it talks about like the value within, right? The nectar we all contain inside of ourselves, and getting in touch with that. And it's interesting because like nothing would exist without boundaries, right? And I said the boundaries are setting in, so it's almost like you've been in this formless void of like nothing's really happening, and energy is just very wishy-washy and like up and down, and you probably went through really like tumultuous emotional experiences and spiritual experiences maybe, and it seems like all of that energetic work that was taking place is now beginning to solidify into something new and unexpected and magical. So this reading is kind of taking a turn. It was kind of feeling very heavy at the beginning, and now it's starting to lighten up a bit. It's like, yes, the boundaries are setting in, but that doesn't mean it has to be a bad thing. Yeah, we have the kiss. So there's that 8th house energy, a very intimate energy, a coming together. The nectar and the kiss, agape, yeah, something unexpected, shocking. This card archetype has come out a lot in my readings recently. The medallion, yeah, something solid. There's that hand in the void again, reaching out towards something solid. The unseen, something unexpected, something you couldn't experience physically, but maybe energetically you've been feeling it. And then finally the king. Again, we have the king of pentacles, and now we have the king. And this also shows a hand in this like dark space. But this hand has something, it's sealed, right? And it has gold on their fingertips. So it's like not only are you reaching out towards something, right? There's so many hands here. I just realized that. These two hands coming together, partnering. This hand reaching out to touch the nectar of this flower. This hand reaching out to receive this golden medallion. And then this hand offering some kind of seal or contract, something valuable on the fingertips there. Gold. And most of these hands, all of these hands actually, are depicted in the dark, in the void, in the shadow. Yeah. That's very interesting. All right, let's get some nouns. These help me to go even deeper in the message as they give us an overview of each of the 12 houses of the zodiac. I might not go through all of them. Maybe we'll see. But Spirit, please give us the most appropriate nouns for this message today. Thank you. Invention. Invention, design. So first house, which is the self, invention, right? That's like recreating yourself. You've invented yourself. And then second house is design. This is the house of values. It doesn't have to be just finances or material things, but it can also be ethical, moral, spiritual values, right? Design. It's like you've had a hand, all these hands, right? In designing, inventing yourself, but also these things of value that you're coming into contact with. I'm potentially getting that somebody who is in a position of authority, like this king, right? King of Pentacles, might be coming around and helping to relieve this burdensome energy that you're feeling. And they may have recently gone through a slightly difficult time as well. Because yeah, this coming together energy, the kiss, it doesn't have to be sexual or romantic, right? A kiss is just like two things joining together. You can think of it as like the Lover's card in the tarot. Gemini energy. Interesting. Could potentially be somebody who already knows you, but you maybe don't know who they are. They somehow are aware of you, but you don't know them. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Third house, cream. Yeah. This is like cream of the crop, right? Third house, like I was saying, is Gemini energy. And it's about curiosity and learning and sharing, partnering, close connections, right? Fourth house, we have pest. Fourth house is about foundations, roots, protective structures, safe places, right? Seems like there may be something in your kind of safe space, maybe in your bubble even, that is pestering you. If you feel that energy, I would encourage you to explore it, journal, right? Like just free write and whatever comes out, see if there's any like annoying energy that comes out and deal with it. Yeah. We have suit in the fifth house, which is the house of passions and creativity. So this is like suit up, right? This is getting ready, getting yourself into the proper attire, into the proper form in order to create. Six is wash. This is the house of service and health. Yeah, and wash is cleanse, right? It's cleansing yourself. Yeah, so make sure that you are taking care of your body and yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of the things, right? They're all important. And they all are interlinked and affect each other. So, yeah, helping, and I'm also getting the energy of like helping to clean something up, right? It's like you're helping someone wash something up, like clean up the situation. Women in the seventh house, which is the house of the other, the mirror, right? So women around you at this time could be very significant, or the energy of like the feminine, right? And this King of Pentacles and this King doesn't necessarily have to be a man, right? This could just be a woman who is in a very masculine position. They might have a lot of wealth and resources and be in an executive role of some kind where they make decisions. They are very active. The masculine principle, right? A very active principle. Camera 8. Camera. You could have been sharing essentially online, like I'm doing here, very intimate things about yourself, putting it out there, and trying to connect with people that way. But it's like video or photo evidence of something close and intimate, and also that is shared in some way. Something even that was potentially maybe kind of a secret, like not everybody knew about it, right? Ninth house, we have attack. This is the house of expanding your horizons of higher learning and coming or exploring foreign concepts or foreign places even. Attack. This is giving me maybe somebody doesn't want you to expand your horizons, and they may give you some form of resistance or try to attack you in some way, not like literally, hopefully not. Maybe verbally or ideologically, even emotionally, that kind of attack. So just be aware of that. 10th house, we have Harbor. This is the house of public works, which are publicly recognized for. Harbor is giving me this idea of like a safe area. In yesterday's reading, which I did not post because of the audio issues, this was a farm. And so farm and harbor, they're kind of, it's like these places of value, right? Because harbors are where ships come and dock and unload goods, right? So, and farms produce goods, so that we have this energy of like a hub that produces value. It's like this is something you're coming into contact with, right? The kiss, the medallion, the nectar, agape. It's going to be a beautiful place, whatever this is. Or a beautiful space, even. This could be online. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical place, although it very well could be. 11th quill. This is the idea of communication. The 11th house is about community and also authentic self-expression. It's almost like content, right? Quill, writing. It doesn't have to be like an actual written letter or a typed book or essay or whatever. It could be just like communication in general is being highlighted here for authentic self-expression and also connecting to community. Because that's what connects you with other people, right? Is your authenticity. If you're honest about who you are with others, then you're going to attract people who are also honest, hopefully, in the same way with you. And then finally, we have actor, the 12th house. This is the house of hidden things, even hidden enemies, right? And we have attack here. So it's almost like somebody has been inauthentic and hiding around you, right? I definitely have picked up on that energy a lot. It's like they're pretending to like you or something, but now that you're trying to get your crap together and figure out what you're going to do next, it's like maybe this facade starts to fall away. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to close out with some advice from tarot here. Spirit, what's the advice for the viewer, please? Oh, okay. That one is very loaded. See if anything else wants to come out. Oh, that's a new flip over there. 2 of Swords. See what this was. 7 of Wands in reverse and 2 of Swords. And then we have the Sun on the bottom. Success, clarity, recognition, something coming to light, something consciously aware of. 2 of Swords. Yeah, this is that being caught in the middle, stuck in the void space, right? Having no other choice but to go deep within yourself because there was probably not much else to do. And then 7 of Wands in reverse is like putting your defenses down. So once again, this idea of like intimacy and being honest about the position you find yourself in. But yeah, this is a good thing. It's the truth, right? We have the Ace of Wands and the Sun here on the bottom. It's inspiring to others to see this level of honesty. It's also this idea of like the 2 of Swords is kind of like a boundary card, and then the 7 of Wands upside down is like a non-boundary card. And it's interesting because in the sky right now, Saturn and Neptune are very close to each other, and that is pretty much what they represent, right? So there's Saturn in the very early degrees of Pisces, and there's Neptune. Yeah, they're very close to each other. Neptune is like the boundaryless, infinite possibilities kind of planet, dreamy planet, right? And then Saturn is the opposite, contained boundaries, things that are manifest and have limits and clear borders, and they're very well defined, right? They're not limitless, they are limited, but that limitedness is what allows us to know them as something real, right? Because if they were unlimited, then it would be wishy-washy, like that void space, right? It's like this unlimited energy of potential and possibilities, but there's nothing solid there because there are no boundaries, there are no borders. It's the borders that create reality, the boundaries that create reality, right? Okay, so this has advice. I think the advice here is that it's just a recognition and awareness, right? That's what the sun is about. It's an awareness of this period of time where you've had to kind of like go deep within and experience this like boundarylessness, right? This weird, very fluid space where everything felt possible, but yet nothing was really like materializing. Well, now it seems to be coming to a time where this period is over, or it's ending, right? It's ending and something is going to solidify. So I say that, and then you can see this on over here. This Starlink satellite just kind of like comes in out of nowhere. It's a little flyby. 5760. So let's see, 12, 18, the number 9. Yeah, there's the Hermit again, the ninth major arcana. So yeah, we begin and end with the Snow Leopard, the Hermit energy here. Just a recognition that this period of going really deep within and doing this loosey-goosey Neptunian energetic work was not for nothing. And I think you're about to see the results of this period of time in some way, maybe in a very unexpected way, right? In a very magical way. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for hearing me out, and I hope that you connected with this message on some level. If you need anything from me, check the links in the description below. You can book a reading with me if you want to. I also have a pre-recorded reading I can do through the Buy Me a Coffee shop link down there. Yeah. And as always, take care of yourselves. Keep your heart open. Bye.